Peninsula. Joining me now is Linda Tran, a former communications director for then Virginia Governor Tim Kaine and a founding partner of 270 Strategies. We also have Mercedes Schlapp, a Republican strategist and former spokesperson for President George W. Bush. Mercedes, I'll start with you. What do you make of this back and forth?
Well, first of all, I have to say that I think that the foreign policy establishment it needs to calm down. I think that we have to understand that this was a congratulatory cause. Governor Mike Pence mentioned yesterday, President-elect Trump received a call from a democratically elected government. And I think that Donald Trump is sending a clear signal, which is we're not going to be intimidated or bullied by the Chinese. We're in a different political world order right now, and I think Donald Trump is definitely exerting his strength, which I think is critical, knowing that what we have seen under President Obama has been a sense of weakness.
But Linda, I mean, you know, this was more than a random call. More reports came out to say after Trump won the election, his team completed a list of foreign leaders that it wanted to arrange calls with. The Taiwanese president was on that list. The two countries haven't spoken since 1979. Kellyanne Conway tried to sort of say nothing to see here. I'll get your reaction. Listen to what she said.
He received the phone call. He received the phone call. And just as he said in a tweet, we do billions of dollars in business with them, and all he did was receive a phone call. I think everybody should just calm down. He's aware of what our nation's policy is. And that would mark probably the 48th or 50th call or personal meeting that Vice President-elect Trump or Vice President-elect Mike Pence or President-elect Trump have received from a world leader.
But Linda, if there was a list, I don't know. It's not just a call. Maybe he's saying there's a new sheriff in town. What do you think?
Well, and I think the reality is that the consternation is, in fact, not about the call. It's about what the call may or may not signal about the U.S. approach to how it deals with Beijing and how it deals with Taiwan. The reason why there's been 37 years of protocol against doing exactly what the president-elect has done is because there's a very, very delicate balance happening in China. The U.S. has interests in mainland China. The U.S. also has interests in supporting a fellow democracy in Taiwan. And the thing that both China, Taiwan, and of course the United States is really typically concerned about is not escalating to a situation where there might actually be war there. One of the big conflicts has been, really about if Taiwan were to declare its independence, China has made very clear that that would be considered an act of war in succeeding from the mainland.
But Mercedes, Trump's argument is we're supposed to be tiptoeing around this idea that there's this delicate balance and that we don't want to escalate to war. And then you have on the other side, China is out there building a huge military complex right out there in the water that is not necessarily theirs, people are saying.
Right, and most of the people in Taiwan believe that they're being bullied by China. So I think this is an opportunity, now that we have a new president coming into office, to basically re-examine the relationship between the U.S. and Taiwan. Obviously, the U.S. does not support the China One policy, basically saying that acknowledging that Taiwan is a part of China. It doesn't actively support it, but it does acknowledge the presence that policy is in place. With that being said, I really believe that Trump is trying to send a signal to China to say, I know that you want to exert your power and influence and dominance in Asia, but we're going to have to be in discussion and talking, and not only just back away from not being able to just reach out to the Taiwanese government.
Linda, last word to you. How do they respond when he says, guess what, there's a new sheriff in town, my friends?
Well, I mean, I think when it comes to foreign policy and it comes to diplomacy, stability and predictability are the name of the game. That's you really want your allies to know where you stand when it comes to foreign relations.
Oh, yeah, we know how he feels about stability and predictability. He doesn't think much of it. It'll be interesting to watch. Ladies, thanks to both of you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Green Party presidential nominee Jill Stein is taking her push for a recount in Pennsylvania to federal court. This as efforts continue to retaliate